Hey guys, Ms. Brooklyn here. Welcome back to my channel, Ms. Brooklyn's Beauty-Corner. In this video, I take the time out to show you the do's and don'ts of wig making. I wanted to show major tips with you guys that you may not be familiar with when it comes to wig making and why some of you guys complain your wigs do not fit when you put it on your head. Let's jump right into the video. For this tutorial, I will be demonstrating using hair from HJ Weave Beauty. Your hair will come in this beautifully packaged box along with a product brochure that tells you about the company and all the hair and hair types that they carry and the textures, as well as information on how to purchase. So for me, I have an 18-inch frontal as well as 4 bundles of hair. As far as the origin and things of that sort, I'll leave all of that down below in the description box, as well as any coupon codes that I have and the links to the direct bundles I have and more. Before you do anything, I always show this in my videos because I want you guys to take heed. You need to thoroughly go through your hair and check it out. You want to make sure you assess your bundles. That way you can catch any potential problems before you make a wig, and you are able to contact the company and return it before anything is done to it. One of the things you want to definitely make sure of is the hair is the same texture, density from weft to tip, and the ends are very healthy. As you can see, mine is looking gorgeous. The wefting is impeccable. Everything is neat. The bearding is fairly neat. The luster is nice. The hair texture itself is gorgeous. I'm going to rake through every single bundle, making sure that my hair is not shedding. Next, you want to look through your frontal or your closure. In this case, I'm working with a frontal. First off the bat, let me tell you something. This hairline, impeccable. The ends are looking very healthy. The density is just right. I'm gonna rake my fingers through it to make sure that my frontal is not shedding and that it won't cause balding as I'm making my wig. And I'm checking for luster. I'm making sure there's no fake fibers. I'm making sure that there's no thread and that it is all pure human hair. As far as I'm concerned, everything is looking good. I'm going to start co-washing my bundles. Another tip, never ever make a wig and you do not wash the bundles first. 2 reasons. 1, you want to make sure there's no chemical dyeing on the hair to give the illusion of looking rich and beautiful, and it is just trash. 2nd reason is you want to make sure it's pure virgin hair. Sometimes synthetic hair, it'll act up the minute you put it in water. So you definitely want to wash it. You want to make sure your water is running clean, clear. It's not running a dark brown. That means they did not dye it, okay? As you can see, it's kind of cloudy. Of course, atmosphere and things of that sort. It's not going to be 100% clean because it's coming from a factory, let's face it. And I cleanse the hair about 3 times, as you can see. And the hair feels beautiful and it's luxurious. Everything is looking good. Now I know I'm able to make a wig with this hair and it is going to be good. Oh, and also continuously rake your hands through it to see if there's going to be any shedding. This next part, I'm not going to go too in depth on it as I have a full frontal tutorial on my channel on how to customize your frontal before you even put it on your head. I went in and bleached the knots, and then I washed it with clarifying shampoo and toning shampoo, and then I did the same process to the frontal that I did with the bundles in conditioning the hair. But for the frontal, I conditioned the hair for about 45 minutes. I will leave the iCard across the screen and the link to the actual video in the description box if you guys want more detailed information on frontals. I'm now working with a canvas block head for my wig mannequin head. I'll leave the link down below to the description box on Amazon. In the description box, you're definitely going to need a good pair of tweezers, and you're going to have to customize your frontal. I don't care how pre-plucked a company pre-plucks their frontal, you will always have to customize your frontal to fit on your head. Again, I have a video. I'm not going to go into detail here. I like to use Spanx dome caps to make my wig on. You can use a wig cap if you like. You're definitely going to need lots of T-pins, lots of them, to hold your wig into place and your bundles into place. You're also going to need clips because it keeps the hair out of the way as you're sewing, and you're going to need shears, obviously. They're going to need thread, a lot of thread, and you're also going to need lots of C-curved needles for doing wigs. I use about 11 C needles. Use as many as you want, but I'm telling you, no less than 10. It's going to save you time. Always secure your Spanx dome cap to your mannequin head. Major T right here that I'm about to spill, I pull mine back tautly. Again, it's almost like reserving a little bit of extra Spanx cap so that you don't make your wig too small. In fact, my wigs are always too big for me or fit just right. Major T right here. You can see that my frontal is not sewn down yet, but it is extremely close to the Spanx dome cap. Make sure it's aligning properly. Now, you see the threaded line that connects the band of the Spanx dome cap and the actual Spanx? You never ever want to sew on that line. I sew in between it or above it, but never ever on it, because if you do, you're going to stop your Spanx dome cap from being able to stretch, and that is not what you want. You're going to penetrate in between the threading of the Spanx dome cap and the PU strap of the wig frontal, and you're going to start your sewing method. Now, I'm doing this slowly because I'm showing you guys how to do the loop and pull method. You're going to pull it through the Spanx dome cap, pull it through the PU strap, and you're going to pull it in between the thread. If you don't know what a PU strap, this is the PU strap. It is the darker, thicker part of the frontal. It's solely there for you to actually connect the wig cap or the Spanx dome cap with the frontal. That's where you sew it. Now you're going to sew through that, and you're going to pull your needle through the center of the thread, creating a loop. And that is what you call the loop and pull method. Personally, every third loop, I lock it into place by creating a knot. And how I do that is by taking one side of the thread and wrapping it about 3 times around the needle and pulling it through the center of the thread, creating a small knot. Doing this throughout the entire wig making process allows my wigs to last a very long time, and they do not come apart. My oldest wig is 4 years old, and that was at beginner stage, okay? I'm telling you. So again, this is the loop and pull process, or what you call the loop and pull method. I'm going to show you one more time. I'm going to pull the needle through the center, taking one end of the thread, wrapping it around 3 times of the needle, and I'm going to pull it through the center, and that's going to create a small knot. As I get closer and closer, as you can see, a small little knot creates right there, and it locks the thread into place, and you continue through the loop and pull. Major key. Do you see that this line right here on the Spanx dome cap? There's 2 of them. Never ever sew on this threaded line on your Spanx dome cap or your wig caps for that matter, because that is what is going to stop your wigs from stretching. And this is why you say my wigs don't fit my head, because your wigs cannot stretch. You want to make sure you sew around it. Do not penetrate it. Do not put any thread on it. Always sew around it. As you can see, I skipped that space and sew around it. So always make sure you sew around that throughout the entire wig. This next tip is only pertaining to you depending on how many bundles you are using. For me, I have 4 bundles I'm working with in this frontal, so I'm going to be doubling my first 2 bundles. And what doubling the wefts mean is when you take the bundles from end of the weft to weft and you connect it together, and you double your wefts like so and begin sewing like that. And if you only have 3 bundles, only double the first bundle. This next part is major key. This entire perimeter is a elastic band. You do not want to sew through the elastic band. As you guys can see, I'm demonstrating with the needle what sewing through the elastic band looks like. It's hard and tough, and it's going to give you resistance because you're trying to poke a needle through a thick band. But if you sew through the actual Spanx material and not the band, it goes in with ease, and you're able to actually pull up the material. And that's where I'm going to be sewing my bundle down on. I'm not sewing my bundle on the band. I'm sewing it through the actual material of the spandex, because as I'm showing you, this thick band is what allows it to stretch. Duh, it's elastic. Never ever sew through that. Only sew through the soft satin Spanx material, like so. So you're gonna see I'm gonna attach my actual wefts to the satin material just for this part right here, because I'm putting it very low. The rest of the Spanx does not have elastic, so you guys can understand that concept. Never ever sew through. And I'm just showing you here, I'm penetrating the very beginning of the wefts because I need to keep them together. This is the only time you will ever see me connect or penetrate through wefts. It is at the start of every row. So through the Spanx material, not the actual elastic band, I'm going to do the loop and pull method and connect. And you want to always make sure you secure it by making several knots. I do about 2 knots at the beginning and 2 knots at the very end to secure it. And of course, every 3-4 loops, I knot it. I just want to reiterate, I'm not sewing through the wefts anymore. I'm actually sewing around the wefts. I don't sew through the actual wefting of the hair because I want to minimize shedding. I'm doing the fold over method. And again, do you see the connection of the thread and the elastic bands? I am going to either sew underneath it or on top of it or through it. This part right here, use your own discretion. You can sew below it, above it, or even in between it, but never on it. Major key. You see how I'm not going all the way to the top to pull my needle through and trying to connect it to the weft? Some people make the mistake of spreading it out so far that you actually shrink your Spanx dome cap, and this is another reason why it doesn't fit. You always want to penetrate your needle through the Spanx to meet the weft as closest to the weft as possible. If you do this, it will ensure that you do not shrink your wig cap, and it'll fit you when it's time for it to go on your head. So if you take my recommendations, you should have successfully created a wig that is either 1, slightly too big for you, or 2, fits you just fine. My very last tip for you is, let's say you want to do the elastic band method because your wig is slightly too big for you and you don't have an elastic band. No worry, if you use a Spanx cap, you actually have an elastic band. For those of us that are using frontals, you know that we have to cut all of the excess Spanx cap off underneath because we don't need it. Well, on your Spanx cap, you're going to cut that elastic band that I kept telling you throughout the video to avoid. This is what you're going to use as your elastic band method. As you guys can see, cutting the excess Spanx off and just keeping the band itself, I now have an elastic band that I'm going to attach to my wig to secure my wig down, like boom. I did not show that because I'm not a pro on elastic band method. I'm still learning. So once I get it and I got it down pat, I'm gonna let you guys know. All right, that's it. This is how you successfully make a wig that fits on your head snatch. And oh my gosh, love my hair. You guys, if you want to see this makeup look, let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, all the details is down below in the description box to HJ Beauty. Be sure to follow me on my social media networks. Links and names are down below in the description box. I love you all and see you all in my next video.